Hey guys, what's up? Gino Bonino here, and I'm going to do a quick video on the anatomy of a flip. Now, if you're new to comic book collecting, you may not know what people are talking about when you hear about them talking about flipping. And if you are a long-term veteran collector, you have probably a pretty strong opinion on flipping. You either think that it's something that's okay, or you think that it's the scourge of the collection business and people should be taken out back and shot. I look at it sort of like it's people's money, it's people's comics, they can do what they want with it, and that there's plenty of room in this hobby for all different types of people. People that are going to flip, people that aren't interested in it, it's kind of up to you. So I've actually flipped books in the past, and I've taken the money that I've made flipping books and reinvested in the hobby. So I always looked at it like if I was doing that, it was okay. That was the way I justified it. As a matter of fact, I used to almost have a strategy, which is I would read Preview Magazine, kind of try to figure out what was going to be hot, and I would get about 4 or 5 copies of any particular issue. I would keep one for myself, kind of to go in my collection. Then I would typically sell 3 of them and hopefully once again make a profit. Take that money, and the money that I made would pay for the 4 books, basically paying for that one that went into my long box, and then also have some money left over that I would sit off to the side and use to reinvest in blue chips. Basically, what I felt were tried and true, either Bronze Age or Silver Age or whatever I could afford. And that's how I kind of have built up my collection throughout the years, is doing it that way. But anyway, what flipping is basically, like I said, it's taking a book and assuming that it's going to be hot, and then once it is hot, selling it for more money than you paid for it. And this is gauged solely on the law of supply and demand. Basically, a book will have so much of a print run, and and then so many issues are distributed to your LCS, and once those are gone, the book is sold out. If you look online or look wherever in the normal places for cover price or less, you'll find that the book is not available. Here's an example. This is a book which is right now, as we speak, and when I'm making this video, this is a very hot book. This is Batman Annual #2, and it was basically been deemed a hot book because there's a date or a meeting up of Catwoman, Selina, and Bruce Wayne. And that's something that people feel is an important happening in DC world or DC universe, and for that reason this book has been deemed a hot book. So what happens is this book, if you look right now in most all your normal channels, if you go to your LCS, unless you're extremely lucky, this book will be sold out. So what happens is people that are DC fans, Batman fans, comic book fans, they want a copy of this book. How are they going to get it? They have to go to the next level up. And the next level up from the LCS is typically something like eBay. If you go to eBay right now, this book is selling for somewhere on the low end of about $10 when you factor in shipping and all that kind of stuff, and high end probably about $20. So depending on the quality of the book, if you get something that you want to, you probably get slabbed and resold, which is another flip. This book would probably be something that you'd want in absolute highest quality possible. So what you would be looking for is something that without anything wrong with it, no spine ticks, nothing. And those are the ones that tend to go for a little bit more money, usually, like I said, in the $20 range or something like that right now. So what would happen was if you were somebody that was on the ball and you went to Preview Magazine, let's say a month or so ago, and you read through it and you found that this issue was coming out, you would have discovered that this issue was going to have happen in it, what did happen in it. And you would in your head say to yourself, I bet that's going to be a hot book. And you would put in an order, or you would call your comic book shop and ask them to pull some issues and stick them out to the side for you, or you would order them on Preview Magazine and get a few copies and they would mail them to you, and then you would have that in your hand and you would flip them. And what that means is you would probably list them on eBay, or you would go to a comic convention, and if you have a table there, or if you just carry them around and see people, and you get to talking and somebody wants one, you would either figure out a trade, or you'd figure out you'd want to sell it for, let's say, $10. Now, typically what happens with a book like this is it sort of hovers at that price. Sometimes it'll go up. Again, it'll make a few little jumps in price, kind of look like a steps, if you will. The first step going from cover price to, say, $10, which is where this book is sitting right now. And then things will happen that will affect the price of the book down the future some more. And that would be things like other printings. Now, as I speak, this is out in the second print. Probably will be done in a third print as well. Sometimes what will happen is when those prints come out, the bottom will drop on this, the book. It's not hot anymore. People want just a copy of it for their long boxes themselves. And for that reason, they will say, I'm pretty satisfied with a second or third print. And for that reason, this can, I'm not going to pay $10 or $20 on eBay. I'm just not going to do it. I'll go buy a second printing. And so the bottom line is the price on this will drop. It'll or stay stagnant. I have a feeling what's going to happen with this book is it's probably going to continue to climb. I think what will happen is people that collected first copies will also collect second copies. So a lot of times people that have a perfectly good copy of this, 2 or 3 copies of it sitting in their long boxes, will also opt for a second printing or a third printing, and they'll look at it sort of like a variant situation. Me personally, I have my one copy. I'm happy with it. This is going to go in my long box, and we'll leave it at that. But if I had the opportunity to know that this was coming out, and I didn't do my homework, so I was one of those people that kind of slept at the wheel. I had to buy this on a secondary market and pay a little extra money for it. I just wanted one copy for my own personal collection, and I'm perfectly okay with that. But again, if I was going to try to make a profit, I would have done something to try to get a few copies of this and flip it and make a little bit more money. Then there's a flip on top of that. And the next flip on top of that is somebody that's going to get this book and say, buy it on eBay, or they're going to have a copy from when they ordered it from, say, Preview Magazine, and they're going to get this copy slabbed and hope that it comes in at 9.8, and then they're going to try to turn around and sell this to a high-end collector that'll pay somewhere maybe in the neighborhood of, say, $100 or more for a slab version of this, especially if it comes in at 9.8. Now, the thing about this book, it's got a lot of black on the spine, which means that any imperfection of this book are going to show up easily. So you're not going to have as many 9/8 on this probably as you would on something that has less black and whatnot on the cover. And that means that 9/8 are probably going to be at a premium, and people will pay that for it. And then they have a slabbed 9.8 in their collection. And as far as reading this book, you could do it digitally, so having a slab copy or whatever isn't a big deal. And that basically is how flipping works. It's taking a book and either selling it once or reselling it. Now, there'll be people that'll buy this at $10, hoping that it goes up again, and they're going to want to sell it then for $30 or $40 in raw state. Again, so there's many different ways that you can do that. Anytime that you take a chance and you buy a book, either many copies of it, or if you buy it at $10, hoping that it's going to rise to 20, you're taking a little bit of a financial chance. And there's a possibility you can get burned. You could buy this for $10 and then it stays at $10, or the second and third printing, the bottom drops out from it. There's a lot of different things. Or the plot line that you thought that made this book a collectible entity is something that either gets destroyed from a movie or destroyed from a rumor that happens, and all of a sudden the market just drops out from underneath it. So that's why I feel personally that you need to be a little bit careful if you're not one of the early adopters, if you will. If you buy this for $10, there's a good chance that you could get burned if you're trying to sell it for more than that. I always feel that the best way of flipping on a book is either you really have two things, either buying it for cover price or buying it for less than cover price if you were ordered it early, or getting a absolute pristine copy of it, getting it slabbed, and then selling it to a high-end collector or something like that. Those tend to be the best ways to flip. But as far as selling raw and then raw and then raw again, sometimes you can get, sometimes caught in the middle. So that's it. But anyway, guys, that's a quick, hopefully, video on flipping. Again, I hope I didn't confuse you too much. But I say good luck and happy hunting, and I will talk to you later. Merry Christmas and happy holidays and all that kind of good stuff, guys. Take care. Peace out.